stuck here. The cops won't bother me. When I had my XR650R, that was a big pig. And in a way, it kind of reminds me of the big adventure bikes, because even when you have like an adventure bike, you have this really big bike, but the Honda XR650 was essentially one of the largest dirt bikes ever, and I had one, and riding that thing off-road, and I learned to ride it well off-road, but it was a struggle. I mean, you really had to work hard to get that bike to do what you wanted. In the dirt, it's a lot harder, and you have to be fairly fit to ride dirt, and you should start early to ride dirt. And I've never been like that kid that had a dirt bike growing up, so for me it was really difficult. And I see the same thing with adventure guys, adventure riders, is that they're really not, they haven't had the experience of riding dirt, but they want the experience, so they get a very big bike because I guess they see it as like, oh, I can go anywhere, and it's really the marketing of adventure that gets them. And often I think what happens is that guys will get like the GSs. I don't mean to just pick on GSs, this happens for 10 rays, Africa Twins and everything, and they'll take it on a trip. And they'll ride the GS with a bunch of guys on Honda XRs, a bunch of WRs and whatever, and then they essentially drop it like 2-3 times, and they realize, oh, that's the reason I want a dirt bike. And half the time, like, they see these guys going up these really steep inclines, and it looks like they're surfing, but you can't do that on a big bike. You know, you can't be as whimsical in riding. I think adventure guys just don't know how to ride in the dirt. Some of them do, you know, like, you know, the problem is with marketing, you have guys on these big 1200 GSs, 10 rays, riding like really well off-road. You know, you see it in the videos, and you see it in photos of them popping wheelies in the dirt, and like, it's so funny because it never occurs to people that, oh, this is kind of like a really good rider, a professional rider that's been riding since he was a fetus. And I think that's the case for a lot of these commercials, you know, like they show the GS like in some desert. But the reality is that the GS is only going to be seen outside of Starbucks. It has gotten chilly. It has really gotten chilly. What the hell? Well, let me see if I can make this light. Oh, god damn it. Oh man. You know, the one thing I am looking forward to though with adventure bikes is the new adventure scooters that are coming out. That's kind of an interesting segment that Honda is putting together, especially the 150. I'm not that interested in the 700, you know. At that point, really, you should just buy a motorcycle, and there's a lot of good ones, so I don't see much of the point. But there's also a bike that not a lot of people talk about. That's the Versus 300. Got a gangster out of here sometimes. Those cars are just taking forever. I'm really looking forward to that new segment of lightweight scooters, just because, you know, they're not pretending to be super adventure bikes. You're not going to get, what's that guy doing? He's just like looking back and staring at some guy. The Versus 300 is kind of a very exciting bike, and I'm surprised that Honda has not done that yet, along with Yamaha. I really wish they did, because it's a fascinating segment, and a lot of people would be much better off with a 300 ADV bike as opposed to a 700 or 1000 or anything. Really, they make really good bikes. The Versus 300 is essentially a Ninja 250 engine, like, you know, the 300 version, and I put 87,000 miles on one without any issues. So they're fully capable of racking up some miles. And most people are really never going to be racking up many, and they'll sell it before then, and then everything gets wrecked. Yeah, these scooters are absolutely much more comfortable than a motorcycle for commuting. These douches. Alright, let me see if I can blast on out of here.